Hello, and welcome back to Therapist Plays Night in the Woods. Okay, it is finally time to hang out with Angus. And I'm so excited for this episode because Angus is, well, he's a mystery to me because we don't know his story so far. All I know is that he is very, very cool. And maybe that's just because he seems very confident. And it's also just because of the way he dresses, if I could be quite honest. It leaves an important impression. He seems to have kind of figured out a style for himself. And, well, I'm kind of curious to see if there's, like, some sort of explanation for this, for his cool factor. Now, before we go hang out with him, I was made aware that there's one more windmill that I need to collect before we do that, which should be on this side of town. And I will try to progress through the town this time without getting my heart broken by the Smelters boys being a bit on the outs. That truly is devastating, folks. And you know, as someone who seems pretty confident, Angus, I think that's a good figure for someone like May to be around, because May might describe herself as someone who lacks confidence. You know, especially considering how she might consider, I don't know, coming home from school and not exactly being successful there. And we don't really know that she even feels that. We know that she might internalize that as it comes to her from mom and from some of the people in the town, but I don't actually know if she considers it a failure. But I do think there's parts of that there because of how she acted at the party. Whenever someone comes up who seems to have kind of done something with their life, one of the things that she's most critical about mom is that she didn't make it out of Possum Springs. Now, is that just to sort of weaponize that to make her feel bad in the fight? Maybe, but I think there is some truth to that sentiment for her, that like getting stuck in Possum Springs is, if not a failure, not the condition of success. So it's important that we see different variations of confidence. Now, I think that she does see B as someone very confident. B herself doesn't seem to think so. I think that that's maybe what she meant by saying that she was badass. B is a badass. That she seems to know some things about herself and, well, doesn't sugarcoat shit. Which another reason why that fight was so sad to see is because where May sees confidence and clearly a point of inspiration, B recognizes what she's doing as a kind of an insecurity. The uncertainty about the future, not being able to pivot into something else because of what might happen. Oh, there it is. How do I get up there? Do I have to... Oh, maybe I have to jump from up there. Okay. I think this is where I need to be. I don't even know if we can make that. Oh, what? Okay, I can land on there, but... Oh, this is actually going to be kind of tricky. Okay. Now. Yes! And, you know, I think this is just one of the limitations of language. Confidence as an attribute, it really doesn't get the whole picture across. Which is to say that, like, May is very confident in her opinions, in her perspective, in the beliefs and values that she holds. She's not super confident in how they translate into reality. That's where, like, some of her naivete comes from. But if she's able to convince herself, I could farm. You know, maybe then she is confident in some respects. But I find if you go and say to someone, oh, you're very confident, just like what happened with B. Oh, you're a badass. Part of the challenge with complimenting people is that unless they are open to it, open to receive that compliment, or they believe it a little bit themselves, you're much more likely to activate their inner critic than to inspire a new perspective. Which is why, like, one of the challenges of therapy is sometimes you really want to be someone's cheerleader and you want to tell someone you're fucking great at this. Aren't you doing so well? And with good intentions, you're trying to convince them of that, but they need to discover it themselves. That's why this approach of focusing on how did someone adapt to it and allowing them to explore that works so well. Because instead of telling B, oh, you're a badass, you're guiding her to that conclusion by saying, you know, how are you putting up with everything that you have to deal with, managing the situation at home and with the city council and enduring this period of life that seems very stagnant, and yet you still have this fire in you. Like, how are you accomplishing that? What are the things that you're doing to maintain that in this environment, which, you know, would have a lot of reasons to bring you down? And sometimes it does, but a lot of times it doesn't. And as they describe the things that they're doing, they may arrive to that conclusion. You know, this kind of stuff is difficult, but I'm doing it for these reasons. It's kind of badass. And so I find most of the time, if you ask someone like May or B or anyone really, are you a confident person? They're very likely to say no. But just look at Angus, okay? It's just something about him gives off that aura. And maybe we'll discover what that aura is that makes him seem so cool and collected. So I said I could, take you up to the park. You did indeed. You ready to go? Yeah. I'm excited! Me too, May. How are you? Yeah, we never get to hang out. Ghost hunting with Angus? So you think the guy you saw was a ghost? Not a guy, a ghost. Right. Why does no one believe me that it was a ghost? Well, I mean, ghosts don't actually exist. Now that's an element of his confidence, I think, right there, is that he's willing to shoot straight, expecting that even if the person disagrees or steps on, belief of theirs, he's sticking to his guns. I'm pretty sure they do. Well, I'd need evidence. What counts? A ghost walking up and saying hello, and me saying, hey, I've verified you are a dead person. Could be a zombie or a Frankenstein. Maybe if they're made of ghosty stuff. Ghosty Stuff can be our podcast about ghosts. This episode of Ghosty Stuff brought to you by Donut Wolf. Welcome to Ghosty Stuff. I'm May, and I saw ghosts, and this is Angus, who doesn't believe me. I'm Angus, and this is May. She's a crazy person. Sweet. The park. Nice evening. Yeah, it's all right. My mom used to take us up here to play frisbee. I got hit in the teeth with a frisbee once. Full speed! Jeez. Casey and me were throwing things at each other's heads. Oh. We stopped after the frisbee. Okay. Post-it. Do not feed or touch the wildlife. Well, that seems extreme. Yeah. I don't know. You can't go to the woods to, socialize with the woods, I guess. There's some folks living in the cabins up here. You can, feed and touch them if you want. It's a weird old place up here. There's all kind of weird stuff back up in the park. Old stuff. Just hanging out in the woods. We'll hit my old scout camp on the way up, I think. Busy woods. Okay, better get going before it gets dark. Well, I don't want to outpace him. I want to stick right by his side. It's nice that despite him being a little more serious, he's still whimsical. Playful with May's personality. What a nice evening this is. You alright? Yeah, I got asthma. Oh no! Okay, we're definitely not gonna run past him. Sorry you gotta wait for me. Do you have an inhaler? Didn't you run cross country back in junior high? Oh. I'm sure he does have an inhaler, so let's see if we can get a little history here. Yeah, but I never finished a race. Why'd you keep doing it? I have no idea. What is this thing? This is like a lime kiln, I think? Limes. Kiln. Limestone. You like do something with it in there, and it becomes this like other thing. Oh. Limestone's weird because it's mostly made of skeletons of sea creatures from millions of years ago. So like, this was all underwater or something at one point. Whoa. I know, right? Like, right where we're standing, there were like ancient horrible sea monsters. Creepy and awesome. That's history. Angus is the coolest. Okay, I'm ready to go. I also love that we learn a little something about the world, no matter who we're hanging out with. And there's nothing like spending time with someone who is just interested in stuff. Like, the world is infinitely complex, and it's very easy to overlook the magnificence of things like this. I know that when I hang around with someone who just has a knowledge of like really specific history or whatever, or is just interested in things, they don't even have to, he doesn't know everything about it. He's sort of like, I guess, you know, somewhat. That curiosity is just infectious. I suggest you surround yourself with people like this because they're very likely to expand your horizons. Whoa. Need to take a break? I'm okay. No problem. So if this place was underwater, where'd the water go? Why aren't there like ancient shark bones up here? I don't know. There might be, I guess. But not everything becomes a fossil. Why? I don't know. I'm not an expert on any of this. But there were definitely ancient sharks around here. Weird because things are so boring nowadays. To think like all that crazy stuff was going on here. There's always more weird stuff that happened to find out about later. Okay, I'm ready to go. That is one of the reasons I sort of lean more towards the Angus view on the supernatural and things like that. Is I think part of the appeal is because it's so unique and different from the natural world that it draws our attention and our curiosity, and it always seems like you can never quite get something definitive about it. You know someone who's experienced something paranormal or whatever, but there's no consensus, and so it's always a question mark. I guess my brain doesn't sort of latch onto that sort of stuff because like the world itself, like the regular world, is already a mystery. Like, it's so fucking weird that anything happens at all and is the way it is or how it got here. The creatures that we have are already bizarre. We're just used to them. Like, the world is already confusing and weird enough, I guess, to satisfy that, like, need to understand the obscure. Not to say I don't have an openness to anything like that, but I guess I'm not as magnetized to it as some. Cool. Oh, Angus. Buddy, does he have an inhaler? Are you sure you're okay? Sweet girl, checking in on him. Yeah. Sorry. Seriously, it's fine. Hang for a minute. Okay. I should know all this stuff about, like, ancient sea creature rock or whatever. Lime. Stone. I was going to take a class on dinosaurs back at school. What happened? It was all full up. That class fills up fast. I bet. I love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are like the most interesting animals, that's true. You knew they had feathers? For some of them? I know, right? Big freaky chickens. Things were so scary and cool back then. We die in like 5 minutes. Oh yeah. Ancient creatures would eat us. No problem. Be glad for the millions of years between us. Weird. Time, dude. Time makes most dangerous things less dangerous. Most things, at least. Okay. You ready to roll? Yeah. We're almost to the top. Thank goodness. I can't bear to see this man struggle. Wow. Wow. My old scout camp. Used to come up here with my troop. Like a decade ago. You're the ancient sea monster now. Looks like it. So he was a scout. Wow. Looks like some of the whirly note things came back. Oh, those are the things that we found on the windmills. What? We made these little windmill things, and each put an anonymous note in them. Attached to these, this little spring-controlled helicopter. And the idea was that when the wind would pick up, the windmill would wind up the helicopter, and the note would fly away. Looks like some of them blew back. That's an amazing coincidence. Oh no, that was the idea. Each year we'd read notes left from the year before. I'm gonna see if I can find more. I'm gonna hike up here in a while. Do we get to see the ones that we sent here? I think there are some more. I spotted them. Oh, cool. Gonna look. Aye, aye. Oh, wait. More like as in the town? Oh, no. Okay, they're here. Got one. Okay. Okay, let's see what's inside. I think you got them all. From what I can spot, at least. And I got the high vantage point. Let's read them! Let's read them! Wait, should we, though? We gotta leave them for the scouts. Oh, it's fine. Any of the ones up here wouldn't last the winter anyways. Okay, let's read one. Hi, I'm not supposed to write my name. And that's fine, because I am a scout. And that is the only name I need. Wow, that's intense. It goes on. The scouts gave me more than a name. They gave me badges to show my worth. Jeez. I would kill the scouts. That's it. Were you all like this? Kinda. Sometimes, no. Maybe? Okay, let's read this here. Read it! Oh dear. What? I am super gay. Nice. Angus, did you write this one? Jeez, I could have. I think my note was about, like, being strong and good. And gay as hell. I think my total gayness came through to the discerning reader. Alright, let's read this note. I like shooting arrows. They are cool to shoot. In fact, I think we should shoot arrows instead of guns. When we're in the army, it has a tactical advantage. And that it is silent and also elegant. Huh. Yeah, I got nothing. Alright, this one's kind of torn up. Maybe a bird got it. Read the bird's note. I am extremely unhappy, and you're the only person who knows. Oh. Okay. What? Not much changes. Could have just as easily been our notes from 10 years ago. Yeah. There's like a timelessness about people. Some things just don't stop being what we are. Yeah. I find this to be a nice point because I do think that there is a half of me that's kind of cynical to that point. Like, yeah, not much changes, and that can be a bad thing because it means in some ways people are still struggling with the same things that they always have? And are we doing enough to make those struggles smaller over time? But there's also a part of me that's kind of comforted by the idea that, well, every generation has similar struggles, and every generation continues to try to persevere through them in different ways and requires unique new challenges. But yeah, it's hard not to feel very cynical about the world and the direction that it's going in sometimes. But I don't know. I guess I'm more comforted by the idea that people are incredibly stubborn, and we will try to solve our problems, no matter how hopeless that sometimes may seem. People are consistent in that we struggle with the same things, and we continue to try to deal with them. I think this is why I'm so attracted to the idea of like what makes people healthy in addition to what makes them sick, because that's just as much of a question. Like, we understand why people get sick, you know, mentally and physically. And in some ways, physically, we know what makes people healthy, but do we always have a firm grasp on what makes people mentally well? Not necessarily, and I think that's just as worthy of our attention. Well, that was a hike. That was a lot easier when I was 11. We passed, what, 3 gates on the way up here? I lost count. Weird. Used to be open back then. Ready to go? Not far now. Just up ahead. Okay, I actually am kind of hoping that we see a ghost, though. Or something. I'd be very curious to see how a skeptic like Angus reacts, because he's me in this scenario. Graves, huh? Yeah, these were... I forget. They were involved in the possum massacre. That, like, labor strike thing. Where it was, like, the miners versus National Guard. Happened back in town, like, 100 years ago. Why are they up here? I think these were some of the bad guys. And some of the miners. Didn't want them buried in town. Oh. There's like a few old graveyards up here from like colonial times. I guess there's one up here somewhere too. Well, that's spooky. Just bones. Ancient shark bones. Yeah, see, nothing left to be scary. I don't know, bones can be kind of scary. Just regular variety bones. Wow, we're really up high. And really far out. I can't even see town from here. It's south of us, behind whatever ridge that is. So what? Are we just supposed to wait here and see if anything happens? You tell me! You're the expert! I guess we'll just wait here. And see if anything happens. Nice night. Yeah. Back at school, I couldn't see as many stars. It always made me sad. But yeah, they're really nice up here. I wish I knew the constellations like you did. What? You know all the names and the stories and stuff. I wish. I can never remember them other than... I think that one up there is like a bell or something? No. Remember that time we were all at that longest night bonfire? And we spotted the constellations together? And you told us all about them? That's not a thing that happened. Oh. Wow. Maybe it's like a dream or something. God, I barely remember now. I wonder what fake constellations and stories you dreamed up. Okay, humor me. I'll find the constellations. You tell me about them. Okay, then. Alright, find me some constellations. We're an expert at this! Wait, are these gonna be real ones or fake ones? Just ones I remember. Or dreamed that one time. Ugh. Whichever. Remember Mr. Shazakov? Yeah, science teacher. He lives in Underhill and has a telescope on his roof. And I totally saw some stars through it. That's cool. Telescopes are cool. Wish I had a telescope. Okay, let's see. We're just gonna point them out. I do hope that we get to point out Big Snake here. Oh, okay, so we get to draw them. Okay. I imagine we're doing something like this. Oh, okay, it actually... They're supposed to connect a certain way. It's a cat! He's got arrows sticking out of him. And he's chasing a diamond. Oh, I know this one. Don't remember his name. He lived, You remember the stories about the forest god? No. It was like a whole bunch of stories. There's this person, Adina, and... Oh yeah! Adina in the frozen lake! Yeah, that's one of them. Anyway, this cat was in there. Liked shiny things. Was good at getting through the forest. Was really good at stealing. Oh wow, yeah. I used to call him Ass Cat when I was... Well, then he stole a diamond from a king and got arrowed to death. But he was slick enough that he jumped out of his body and became immortal, or something. Huh. Decent. Extremely decent. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, that's a bell. And in the middle is this eye looking at you. Okay, that's, I know this one a little from, like, prog rock album covers. I think the world ends when it rings. I think you die when it rings when it's looking at you. Yeah, let's go with it. Well, crap. It's high up enough. It's kind of always looking at all of us, right? God damn. What is this? Maybe just here? It's a whale. And it's got, like, the world on its back. Oh, wow, that's sad. Why? Why does it have to carry the whole world? Like, that's really unfair. Yeah. That is legitimately upsetting. You gotta wonder why people made these up. I mean, like, these specifically. Who saw a whale and was like, needs to be carrying something? I mean, whales are pretty big. They didn't know what the Earth was. Yeah, but like, I don't assume everything I don't understand is a whale. You could start. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's a pope. He breathes fire. Oh, this one is real. Or at least, the dude is. Rubilo. There's a statue of him outside church. Oh, we never went there. Did your family go to the church? Yeah, it's us guy. Weddings and funerals and longest night, basically. I don't think those first two count. Those are like events. My mom works up at the church now. I haven't gone really since I was like 14 or 15. Does she mind? She pretends not to. We're like way out here, huh? In the park? Yeah, I guess. Spooky. I don't know. It's pretty safe. And the stars are pretty. So you don't believe in ghosts at all? No. Don't believe in ghosts or gods or psychic powers or anything like that? Not at all? I mean, there's no evidence for them. And people have really tried. Did you ever? Yeah, when I was a kid. Tell me about it. So, I don't know how much I've ever told you, or how much Greg has told you, but I didn't have the best childhood. Yeah, I think I heard that. Why was it bad? My dad didn't like me. All right, are we gonna have to reset the clock? The rage against bad parenting clock? And my mom didn't either. Okay, now this really is a mystery. How did Angus become so cool? So himself, despite the things that he went through. This I am extremely curious about. And like, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. No, it's fine. My dad used to hit me a lot. My mom was probably worse. She like wouldn't feed me. Oh, okay. So this isn't like just bad parenting. This is like genuine abuse and neglect. Which is why I really like cooking now. She'd like shove me into the pantry and slam the door really hard. And all of the stuff would fall off the shop. How? This is something I really struggle with. In that continuum of like, you know, obviously I'm interested in what makes people healthy, but what makes someone that fucking sick that you would do this to any human, that you would do it to any human, that you would do it to a child, that you would do it to your child. Like, I'm sorry, there's no excuse. There's no like, you know, stress. Like, that's not an excuse. That is not a justifiable explanation for two parents to collaborate on torturing their child. And I do consider that fucking torture. A child can never be more stable in their environment than the adult is in that environment. It's possible once they mature and into teenage years and adulthood and that sort of thing. But consider the age that Angus was at. It probably didn't start when he was a teenager. It probably started earlier on than that. Child can't be more stable in their environment than an adult. Can't have more insight about what their environment should be like, what a stable environment should be like, and certainly can't be the one to come up with the solutions to stabilizing that environment. So what is a child most likely to do? Well, they're most likely to resort to survival instincts, which are avoid their parents either by leaving the house, avoid emotionally by shutting down, dissociating, avoid whatever it is they have to do to not get punished. Doesn't seem like that was an option here because maybe Angus was just being punished for being himself. Shoving them in a confined environment is so inhumane. You're teaching a child that they don't have a right to safety, they don't have a right to independence, they don't have a right of movement or freedom or expression, and that they don't have a right to advocate for their own sense of being wanted. And what you're also telling a child who is the more vulnerable person in this dynamic is that they are the one who needs to change. The vulnerable person gets asked to, pressured, and forced to change in a power struggle over the person who actually has more influence, which is the fucking parent. The parent is in charge of and is capable of stabilizing that environment, stabilizing themselves. And instead of working on that, we put that responsibility on the child. And now your basic human rights, which you're probably not even old enough to understand, are thrown into a power struggle, and you're told that this environment is unstable because of you, because of the way that you are. And me putting you in the closet, or me hitting you, is my way of fixing that. What? No one should have to endure the things that Angus and many real people like him had to. You are aware of the control that you have over this smaller being. The actions of abuse are a direct acknowledgement of your control over the environment and the control over that individual. So do something good with it. Fuck. Oh my God, Angus. Didn't know it all. It's awful. She locked me in there for like a day at a time sometimes. It's kind of strange that this like the music is playing like this. I mean, I'm glad because it's taking a little bit of the weight off, but I actually think it's a good sign, and we'll talk a little bit about this after I sort of get over these emotions and we finish hearing from Angus, but it's a good sign that Angus is able to talk about it like this, or overnight. So I'd like try to develop psychic powers. Oh, I didn't even remember how this came up because I was so dysregulated, but this is why he doesn't believe in supernatural. So I could like signal the neighbors or unlatch the door. Didn't work, as you might guess. Did you ever tell anybody? I never did. I don't know why. After a while, I like started feeling guilty too for some reason. I think a child knows, as well as the parents, that they are not the leader of that environment. And so that's why it's so easy to take it upon yourself that like, I must be doing something wrong. I'm not in charge of stabilizing this environment or providing stability to my own life. My caretaker is, and if they can't, and they're telling me that I'm the reason, then that must be the reason. Like this was something bad I was doing? Like being abused? Angus, that's not your fault at all. You were a kid. Oh, don't worry. I know that now. Would I ever? Question. Can I go kick all of their asses? Fuck yeah, May! That is why she's such a badass as well. She knows this. And we don't know the entirety of her family dramas. You know, there was a comment earlier about like, you know, dad was a danger to me or danger to us. But her environment is stable currently. So she knows the benefits of that. She knows what it's like for parents to mess up and change. Like, I've got experience. I can F some shit up. Well, my mom is kind of old now. I still have to visit her sometimes. I have a brother. He's overseas in the army. And my dad left like 10 years ago. So who knows where he is or if he's even alive. If he is alive, I don't want to know about it. Angus, I just want to give you a hug. Forever. Well, I was luckier than a lot of kids. I'm just glad I didn't like... Yeah. Anyway, your original question. Testing out my psychic abilities in the pantry made me really interested in both paranormal stuff and science. And I joined a skeptic society on the internet. And that kind of ruined me on a lot of other supernatural bullshit. And it gave me something to solve. Something you could debunk or, you know, I don't know. It saved me a little bit, I guess. Because when someone does all that stuff to you, it can, like, make you do some bad things to yourself. But anyway, yeah. No ghosts or God. This is why we need a DSM for the traits that make people healthy. There came some questions from that discussion about, like, well, why would we need that? Like, if it's healthy, you don't need to diagnose it. But two things to that point. One is that in the psychological world, the value of a diagnostic statistical manual is not just to assess and help an individual, but it helps us understand the correlation between someone who has been through an adverse childhood experience, like Angus, abuse, neglect, trauma. How did he become confident and healthy despite that? Because it's very likely that there's someone else out there who hasn't had that same experience. Exactly like he just suggested, like I was luckier than a lot of kids who developed self-harm, suicidality, etc. I think he was suggesting. Kids who didn't get better. And so what happened that allowed Angus to survive that? And I'm not by any means the first person to ask this question. The origin of that question, what makes people healthy, comes from research done after World War II, in which people wanted to understand how did those who endured the Holocaust survive it mentally, emotionally? How did they adapt to life after their survival? Why did some people adapt better than others through that trauma? There's enormous value in understanding that beyond the individual to say, is there something in that story that can help a massive amount of people who are going to experience the same adverse things? There's many kids out there who are going to go through what Angus went through and worse. And there's something really meaningful in his survival of that could help those other kids survive it too. If we really understand what allows someone to survive a trauma like that. So that's the scope beyond the individual that's valuable in this, is to say, what makes people healthy and how they overcome adversity, and can that be explored and understood and categorized to help other individuals with similar problems. For the individual, some of the most impactful therapy and moments in therapy comes from a person discovering their innate traits of resilience that they didn't even know about, right? Like, some people I have definitely talked to, like Angus, who go through that, and they're not aware that they survived it. In fact, they're still stuck in the guilt and the shame of it. You know, Angus says thankfully he's kind of overcome that, and he understands that he wasn't at fault. But there's people out there who have survived it and yet don't understand many of the things that they've done to rebuild themselves and still carry the guilt and shame of it. And so helping them identify and say, look, there's other people who have experienced this, and here's what allowed them to work through it. Here are some of the things that you've done to work through this. And there's progress still to be made, of course. But it's easy to forget to take note of and practice and maintain the things that you do that are really, really good for you. Like, if you succeed at something, it's just as important to study and understand, well, how did I succeed at that? We can't just assume that if something is working well, that is a baseline of functioning. When you look at it in the physical sense, yes, a sort of bone that's not broken doesn't need to be assessed for its non-brokenness. But a mind that doesn't break despite pressure is very worth studying, very worth understanding, both at an individual and a collectivist scale. So, like, I feel like if I'd been through that, I'd be more likely to want to believe in God or something. Do you believe in anything at all? Well, so like the constellations, I don't believe there's a whale out there, but I believe that the stars exist, and that people put the whale there. Like, I don't know. We're good at drawing lines through the space between stars. Like, we're pattern finders, and we'll find patterns. And we, like, really put our hearts and minds into it. And even if we don't mean to. So I believe in a universe that doesn't care. And people who do. I believe in a universe who doesn't care and people who do. God, that's brilliant. For someone like Angus to not completely lose his faith in humanity is a testament to his resilience and survival of that. What a beautiful perspective. Pattern finders. I feel like a lot of people don't think they found God, but like God found them. Like when they were having bad times like you did. God never did. I was completely alone in the pantry. But a few years later, Greg did. So like, the stars can stay up there and not give a shit about us. But this whale is pretty cool. You're an extremely good and smart person, Angus. I agree. I try. But I'm no more than anyone else. And humble too. I think I know what makes Angus confident. And to expand on that term a bit, obviously he's not confident in all ways. But the thing that makes his personality distinct to me, I don't think confidence is just, I know that I can do this, and I will always push to my limits to try. There's a certain kind of confidence where you don't know if you're going to succeed at all, but you know that you can endure the consequences. Consequences of trying and failing, and maybe taking a very long time or never succeeding at all, but knowing that you're going to survive whatever happens. And I think that that's a kind of confidence that comes from people who live through and overcome trauma, is they may tell themselves, I don't succeed a lot, or I feel very insecure about myself or how things are going to work out. I'm highly sensitive to things that remind me of this trauma. But what they often embrace is their endurance of the outcome of whatever happens. And that's a trust in your ability to survive things, because you've already survived the fucking worst. So why not be confident that, look, not everything is going to work out, and you may be skeptical of whether you succeed at it, but you know that you're going to survive whatever failure looks like. And that's the kind of confidence I think Angus has. And if you're someone who's been through something difficult, don't take that for granted as well. One of the things that makes you incredibly strong in your mental health is that despite not knowing if you're going to succeed at everything, you will live through whatever happens. Yup. I should come out here more often. Oh shit. I just realized, only because the camera is positioned here, that I'm not alone. Yeah. Don't look at him. Boo. There's someone standing behind us. In the trees. Holy shit. Holy shit. What do they look like? Tall. Wearing some kind of weird coat. Like utility coat or something. Oh god. That's the ghost! I'm more worried about it being a living person, standing in the woods, staring at us. Oh god. Well, don't panic. Follow my lead. Hey there! Out for a hike? Suddenly, Angus's voice has got more booming. Nice night. He's not answering. That's a little hostile, right? That's definitely a little hostile. Hey! I know what you did! May, no! I saw you! Okay, well, we're gonna run now. We need to get to the car. What's your asthma? I got an inhaler. The good kind, too. No one in heaven or earth can stop me. See what I mean? That's the kind of confidence that I'm fucking talking about. The confidence of a fucking survivor. Okay, let's go! Deep breaths. In, out. All right. Rah! Should have, like, tagged him or something to see if he was a phantasm. I have to say, that was very ghost-like. This is what I get for getting that deep into the roleplay. You okay, big guy? Yeah, I'll be okay in a few minutes. Let's fucking go, dude! Greatest fucking line in all of fiction said right there in this game. The coolest stuff always happens in the car scene. This is a moment where a therapist like yours truly has a very hard time being composed. There's really only two moments. One, when I'm in a conversation about kids being maltreated. Two, when I'm so fucking hype about what someone self-identifies with that's positive like this. And I don't want to freak them out and be like, let's fucking go, dude! Like... I don't know, would this freak you out if your therapist just started, like, raving about that? Like I said, I think it is a challenge to balance, like, being a cheerleader and, obviously you do want to do a certain amount of validation. But you almost don't... you know, want to hype it up too much because it's like, I want them to keep that. But it warms my heart. For someone like him, for what he's been through, to be able to compose a thought like this. Well, the evidence is in the statement itself. So that was it. That was the ghost! Or it was some weirdo who lives out there. They probably get a lot of kids throwing parties back there. I mean, the party we went where you threw up. That wasn't too far from there. Why does nobody believe me? May, it's like every other explanation is more likely than ghost. Okay, fine, whatever. Sorry. Grouchy. Headache. That was scary. It's cool. It was. Thought. Angus is psychic. But his hat blocks it. Oh my god, that's great. No clues, but Angus saw him too. I love that. That's a great interpretation. Hey, Dad. Hey, you. You okay? Yeah. Weird night. You look really worn out. Yeah. Jeez, I'm sore tonight. Need a back brace or something. How do you do it? Do what? Always running and jumping around all crazy. I don't know. I mean, I'm really out of shape. I don't think I've ever been in shape. I used to be, but that was because of my job. New job don't require much like that. Yeah. Heard you and your mom went on an adventure today. Yeah. She talked about it all through dinner. You should, you know, be home for dinner sometime. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, go to bed, you. Will do. Now, Papa Cat. That's, interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm really home for dinner. Important family, connection happen around the dinner table. You know, just speaking to the family dinners that I've had, it's not like there was always something memorable about what was discussed, but I'm very glad that I had those dinners with my family. This stuff is so complicated, you all. Life is weird. And people are strange. I spend more time than most thinking about why people are the way that they are, and I don't fully understand it. But I still think it's worth doing. Oh, some notes from friends. Hey, hey, hey. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, hey. Did you and Angus have a good time? Did he not tell you about it? Yeah, it was great until it was super scary. You guys saw a weird creepo, huh? Yeah. It was the effing ghost again. Hold on. Angus is thinking it was a hunter. Buck season starts in, like, 2 days. Oh, what the hell? Put him on! KKK. Hey, May, this is Angus. Dude, you saw him with your own eyes. I mean, we saw a guy who was being weird. But there are folks that live up there in the park. There are hunting games and stuff. So it's most likely a guy out hunting buck early. Dude, I, like, felt it. I know. I don't know what to say about that. I think all three of us were spooked. All three of us, like, including the guy? Okay, fine. Thanks for going and being brave and stuff. Anytime. I had fun. You can put Greg back on. Hey, dude. I'm an artiste. Were you doing art just now? Sure was. Alright, off to bed. Night, dude. Hey, May. This is Greg. You and Angus are talking on my computer. Oh, hey, I'm Angus. I'm so smart and have a great ass. Blah, blah, blah. You two are talking a lot. Hold on, I'm drawing him a dirty message in the paint program. It's a dick with his hat on it. And a smiley face. I don't know what it even means. Looks like you two are wrapping up. Peace out. Hey, May, it's Angus. You and Greg are talking. I can attest that this picture is kind of baffling. Good night. Oh, this group of friends is great. Hey, B, you awake? I very much am. Doing bills and eating a grilled cheese. What's up? Went to the park with Angus. How'd it go? It was fun until it was scary. How so? We totally saw the ghost in the woods. Really? Angus saw this? He did. Wow, okay. Hold on. I'm texting Angus. Why? Angus is an annoyingly strident atheist. He doesn't believe in ghosts. Why can't you just take my word for it? Hold on. He said it was probably a hunter. Yeah, I know. Okay, whatever. Sorry. For what it's worth, I don't not believe you. Thanks. You have a good time otherwise? Yeah. Learned a lot about Angus. He's had kind of a rough life. Oh yeah, he definitely has. Wait, how did you know about this? Oh, because Angus and I have been friends since like 8th grade. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're not like the glue holding all of us together. Dang. Angus kind of is. He's the common denominator. Me and Greg don't hang out. Angus is good. He is. Okay, I'm going to sleep. Talk to you later. It's a good point. I don't see B and Greg really hanging out all that much. Oh, I love that though. B and Angus being friends. Yeah, what an inspiration. You know, to just be around someone like that who's been through what they've been through and just has such a vibrant personality, playful, intelligent, kind, empathetic, sensitive and humble, but, you know, not overly so. Annoyingly atheistic, maybe, but has his reasons for it, and, you know, very likely doesn't, like, shit on people who believe otherwise, just presents his own skepticism. I agree with May's conclusion. Angus is good. Bedtime? Yes. Witch dagger. What is this? New kind of dream sequence. Feels like a war zone of some kind, or maybe just thunder strikes, but no lightning bolts. Hello? Is that like a big cat? Can you talk? Yes. For some reason, you're the first thing here I've thought to talk to. Are you God? No. Oh. So, seconds ago, little creatures are coming, and they are asking if I am God, and I am asking what God is. And they are telling me. And I am not this god. And this god is nowhere. Well, that's where faith comes in, I guess. Little creatures are explaining faith, and moments ago is the beginning. And I am here, then, and here now. And there's nowhere for God to be hiding. So what am I doing here? Monstrous existence. No, I mean, what am I doing, like, here? What are you? What are those other giant animals? Have I been seeing ghosts? They were like bits of the world. I think I was on a train, but it was like a town. It's all... I lost it. Okay, so a great beast is walking through the sands, and they are climbing into the air. And now they are making a tear, and now they are gone, and now you are here. Tear with their hooves. They are making a tear. Little creatures are wandering through the air, and they are dragging in places and echoes of lives, and they are asking me about God. My head hurts. I am going to tell you something, little creature. You are swimming further and further out to sea, and beyond are things blind and terrible, and I am showing you now. Insects. Mandibles. Ah! Oh god, oh god. They are blind, but they are seeing you, and you are coming to them. After this, you are not returning here. I am climbing into the air and closing the sky. Closing the sky? Yes. Okay. I will tell you a second thing. There is a hole at the center of everything, and it is always growing. Between the stars, I am seeing it. It is coming, and you are not escaping. And the universe is forgetting you, and the universe is being forgotten, and there is nothing to remember it, not even the things beyond. Now there is only the whole. So, does anything mean anything? This is not a question worth answering. What about my home, my friends? Yeah. Soon they are dying. Soon they are rotting. You are atoms. And your atoms are not caring if you are existing. Your atoms are monstrous existence. Then why am I here, goddammit? Why was I chosen to see all of this? Where is this going? Little creature, you're not chosen. There's no one to choose you. This is going nowhere. We are not meeting again, and the universe is forgetting you. And I am remembering you. But not because I am caring. The beginning is moments ago. The end is moments away. There is no time to forget. Before all is forgotten. Goodbye, little creature. Okay. Some new messages. It's the middle of the day, of course. Morning. At the pickaxe if you're in town center today. I don't even know why I'm saying this. You're in town center every day. Anyway, see you later. Hey, dude. At the old Snauken. Come save me from boredom supreme. Sincerely, Gregory. Away message. Planets are to be pitied, as they cannot know how big they and cool they are. Dr. Kathy Conklin, National Astronomy Agency. Rad. So, yeah, we still haven't connected, I guess, like, what May is dreaming about to the goings-on of Possum Springs. Oh, look, she's got her little lock and key. And and the football helmet. And the coconut monkey, all from our little adventures. That's nice. Even has a dinosaur. witch dagger. So, yeah, we don't know what the connecting bits are yet. But this conversation with Angus very much centered around, well, I think a fair duality of how people find meaning. Some search for it externally and look to outside forces to explain that. Sometimes those forces are the paranatural. Sometimes those forces are those of faith. Something beyond us that influences why we're here and what direction we're going in. And some find that meaning more internally, drawn more from their own experiences and excluding the external. And some people find a balance of both. I think I sit somewhere in the middle. I'm more agnostic to things than a hard, yes or no on them, really. Mama cat! Baby cat! Honey, you okay? Mornings are tough right now. It's like 3:35 in the afternoon. Are you pregnant? No! No, honey, is that why you came home? No! Not at all. Sweetie, you can tell me, I've been there. And despite nature's intentions, God came through and blessed us with you. You were a miracle baby. That's me. A miracle. After all the miscarriages, we'd given up hope. Oh, what a lore drop right there in this conversation. And then there you were. And here I am now. Gosh, that really does change things. I mean, it needs no justification for mom to be deeply invested in the well-being and success of May as a child and as an only child, but knowing that there was such suffering just to get her into the world. I mean, how could you not be invested? You would think, but apparently it's possible to still be a piece of shit to your child, even despite that. Mama Cat isn't, but there are people out there. Angus's parents, for example. So if you're pregnant, I'm not pregnant. I was not in a situation where pregnancy happens. Look at the, she's doing the. Okay. I just want you to know that you can always come to us with this. Okay, noted. Can we talk about anything else? Sure. You know, if you did have a baby, okay, I'm out. Okay, sweetie. I'm sorry. I get excited about grandbabies. It's fine. I'll be back later. Love you. Love you too. Oh. Mama cat, baby cat. If it was a baby boy, you could name him Calvin. Oh my God, Mom. If it was a girl, you could name her Trash Baby. Cordelia. Why don't I just have the baby and hand it to you? Oh, okay, bye, I'm leaving. Oh, Mama Cat's the best. Okay, folks. It's time to pause again. And next time, we will explore the graveyard with one Beatrice. And I miss hanging out with Bea. It's been a little while. But wow, we really did learn quite a bit about Angus, and I really, really appreciated those scenes. I think it's really meaningful that he found the scouts, considering what he told us about his upbringing. I actually love how they presented that. Like, first you learn about his time in the scouts, and then you learn about his trauma history. That was the first community that he probably found himself being accepted in, shown that he has value and worth, treated as an equal, taught useful, valuable skills, taught survival. It was probably really meaningful for him to experience that, and no wonder he still has a connection to it. I mean, in some sense, it's not a mystery why someone who didn't grow up with safe attachments, like Angus, you know, became a lot healthier as a result of finding some stable attachments. I also think his attitude plays a big role in it, and how much he's worked to preserve that attitude, even despite, well, where things are now, with still having mom in his life and a complex, active relationship and a totally inactive one with dad. I also can't leave out how, yeah, I think May handled that conversation really well. It can be difficult to talk about those sorts of things with people, and I think she struck a good balance of, you know, being his cheerleader. It's okay for your friends to do that. You know, it's not as complex as the therapist's role, where being a cheerleader is supposed to be secondary to the self-discovery of your assets. But I think she handled it pretty dang well, which is a kind of emotional maturity I think gets overlooked about her. Again, a part of how she can just kind of talk to basically anyone. And she's a good little cat, good little bean. Okay, friends, as always, be good to yourselves, and I'll see you next time.